So, Michael,
Yes, Dante.
what did it feel like applying to colleges for the first time?
Applying to colleges for the first time, it felt rather. It kind of felt like it came out of the blue a little bit, just like because high school was going by so quickly. I knew, I knew that I wanted to apply to college. I didn't want to get out of high school and just start a job right away. I knew I wasn't meant to do that kind of work. I knew I was supposed to go to college. I knew I was supposed to pursue an education to try to get a degree, to make my parents happy, to make me happy. I wanted to make sure that I had a secure place to be once I got out of college. I wanted to be doing something that I wanted to do rather than staying. For example, right now I'm working a part-time job at my old high school as a custodian. I wouldn't want to do that for my entire life. I wanted to do something that I wanted to do. I wanted to expand my horizons and figure it out.
What schools did you apply to and what did you base it on?
I applied to GCC, which is now RCGC. I applied to Hofstra University, SUNY Purchase, which is a college up in New York somewhere, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I applied to Rowan. I applied here to Rowan. And I based it off of, did they have a good film program? Did they have, I'll be honest, did they have good restaurants around to eat? As I am a food connoisseur. But mostly, did they have a reputable film program? And would I be able to get a job after I graduated?
How did you know you wanted to pursue film?
I knew I wanted to pursue film as soon as I started editing projects in 8th grade. I was editing small little animated music videos using clips from different anime, Japanese cartoons. Mostly Beyblade at the time. I was animating I was like, ooh, I like this song. I like Beyblade. I'm gonna make a music video out of it. And I used Windows Movie Maker. They're not great, but some of them are on YouTube. And I had a lot of fun with it. And as I got older and I started branching out and using more animes rather than just Beyblade. And I realized I really, really liked the tempo that comes out of a music video. And I realized that I really like entertaining people in general. I'm not the most hilarious person, I would say, but when I see something funny online and I know it's funny, I have to show my friends. I have to express that. They have to see it. And I want to be the person who makes that stuff that they have to see, at least on a technical aspect.
What is your favorite aspect of filmmaking?
My favorite aspect of filmmaking, as I said, when I started editing those projects, I guess because I started with editing, I just kind of pursued it more and more. I used Windows Movie Maker for a while. That was not great, but I mean, it's what it is. And then when I got into high school, I was using Adobe Premiere, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of cool things you can do with these programs. And then I kept pursuing it, and I was like, I really want to do this. And when I decided that, I was like, because at that time I was in a computer applications segment of high school, and I was just like, I should switch to media. I feel like I could do a lot more. It's not just a hobby to me. It's something I really want to do.
Let's just jump back to another college subject itself. What factors did you take into consideration when deciding whether to go away to college or stay local?
Okay, so when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to move away to college or stay here at Rowan, stay here, Mullica Hill, then drive to Rowan, I was considering that, I wouldn't know anyone if I moved to a college in New York. If I moved there, I would have to meet all new people, meet all new connections, which would be a good thing. So I was like, I should probably put myself in that environment, to try to make sure that I had the ability to communicate with people that I didn't already know. I know that's a huge, huge, huge important factor to have. Well, important aspect a person should have when pursuing this kind of career or any kind of career today. But when I was like, I really have a lot of friends at home. I don't want to leave them here. I don't necessarily want to go away to college, but if I could, that'd be awesome, but it'd probably be more expensive because it's not a state college, as the 2 colleges I applied to are pretty private, outside of New Jersey. So I was like, do I have the funds for this? Do I have the confidence in myself to meet all these new people and do all these new things? And eventually I decided, yeah, I think I'm ready. I think I need to expand my confidence and go for it. Just go out there, make new friends, talk to more new people, and get involved.
What scared you the most about going to college? And if something did scare you, like, did you wind up overcoming that fear?
What scared me? Like I said, I didn't really know anybody. And I was going into a new environment, not knowing anybody, not having any connections whatsoever. And I was like, ooh, okay, I really need to do this, but I am worried that I'm just gonna stay at home all day and not talk to anybody. And I eventually overcame that as soon as I went to orientation for Hofstra University. When I went there, I met a friend right away. I was just like, wow, it's that easy. 1, 2, 3. And I guess I never really realized how easy it was because when I made friends in high school, they just kind of came by, they were friends of friends and whatnot. I didn't realize that I could just talk to somebody who had similar interests and get into a friendship easily.
What were you most excited about?
I was most excited about working with all this new camera equipment, working with all like new editing softwares and like Avid and whatnot. Didn't realize how interesting Avid would be, but it is an interesting program. I really wanted to make more professional videos using proper lighting, using proper sound, using stuff like Foley, which I learned about once I got there. And it was a lot of fun just to like figure out how much actually goes into it without it looking like that much actually went into it. And that's what I was excited to figure out how to do.
Now, you brought up that you went to Hofstra, but I remember you talking to me a while ago about the SUNY Purchase film program. How did it feel to get turned down by them, and how did you bounce back your confidence from rejection?
Well, okay, so when I got rejected from the SUNY Purchase film program, I felt really down about myself because I thought that some of my high school stuff should have been good enough to get in. I guess I didn't package it right, or some of it wasn't. I guess they were expecting more with lighting, more with sound, more with like better composition, smoother editing, or like better camera equipment maybe. I don't know. But I bounced back saying to myself like, hey, I was a high school student. I didn't have the experience that college offered yet. And if they wanted to turn me down, that's fine. I wasn't gonna get beat up over it. I just wanted to make sure that I had the confidence in myself. I was like, well, my stuff from high school wasn't amazing. It's not gonna be amazing. It's starter stuff. And I realized I need to learn more in order to get better. So I was just like, I gotta get back up on my feet. This is something I really wanna do. So I really need to go for it.
So final question. I do notice you're at Rowan now, but you said something about orientation at Hofstra. What made you decide to transfer?
Okay, so when I was still at Hofstra, I was looking at my bank account, for the most part. My grandfather set aside a little bit of money for me to go to college, and I had a $12,000 scholarship to Hofstra. So I figured with that, and if I invest that money, like some of that money that I had from my college fund, into like stocks and whatnot, I could maybe build up enough money to go to Hofstra all 4 years. But it really wasn't budgeting. In fact, it was going down a little bit. So I was like, whew, okay, I really want to stay here at Hofstra. I mean, I learned how to like splice film, like film strips, which was really, really cool. And I really wanted to, like, it was difficult and tedious, but it was cool. And I wanted to stay there, but I couldn't. Like, I didn't want to build up infinite loans, infinite debt, be like the average college student. I wanted to go back home and see my friends, and I was like, well, if I can see my friends, save like 30 grand a year, it's way worth it. And I think Rowan had a good enough, well, not just a good enough, they have a very good film program, and I'm not just saying that because we're filming using their film equipment, but I know that they had a lot of reputable film programs in general, just because they had RTN Cinema Workshop, and I decided that my friends were back at home. I was away, and I needed to come home to make sure I didn't graduate with infinite debt.
Well, I want to thank you for your time, Mike. It's been a pleasure asking you questions, and I hope you continue to enjoy your days here at Rowan University.
Thank you, Dante.